Wow, so you don't want to miss this question. This is such a brilliant question, right? You don't want to miss it. This is how you get a total in your final exam. So in this video, you're going to be learning how to use it's just basically geometric sequences, right? And how to find n given this, and then how to find the total or the sum of your geometric sequence. So we're still in grade 12, doing mathematics paper 1, November 2024. And we are doing question 3, right? Check out all the other videos. But right now we're doing question 3. Question 3 is very interesting. And I'm actually in love with this question. I can't wait to show you how to do this. However, they say that you have 3 circles, right? So let me just write this down. You have 3 circles. So the first circle, let me just put it this way. You have a first circle, like a big circle, okay? And then you have a first circle, and they tell that the first circle has 6 centimeter radius. So the radius of the first circle is 6 centimeter. And then they say a second smaller circle is drawn through the center of the first circle, also touches the first circle internally. So now the second circle goes like this. Let's go through the center. Ooh, that's bad circle. But it goes through the center and it touches the circumference of the first circle. So this is the center of the second circle. So that means the radius of the circle is 3, right? Because it is 6 divided by 3. Remember that the radius of the bigger circle is 6. So that means the radius of this one, small circle, is 3. Okay. And then a third circle, what did they say? They said that circle again, it touches the center and then it goes through circumference. Therefore, if this is the center of the circle, this is equal to 3 divided by 2, which is 1.5. So the third circle is 1.5. So what you have a circle here with 6 centimeter. You have another circle here with 3. This is the center. You have a circle with 1.5. These are radius of these circles. Okay. Now, with this understanding, just jumping into the question. So 3.1 says write down the radius of the third circle. So we already know the radius of the third circle. The radius of the third circle, let's call it the radius of the third circle, is equal to 1.5. That's basically your answer. And you get your 2 marks easy. Okay. Now, 3.2. So there's a bit about this question. Before you jump into writing your answering question, just understand, do some analysis and get to know what you're doing. And then you're able to answer your question correctly, right? And faster as well. So 3.2 says calculate the sum of the areas of the first 10 circles. So what they're saying is they want us to find the sum of areas of the first 10 circles. Now, number one, you need to understand how to get an area. So an area is equal to pi r squared, okay? And what they're saying is they want us to find the sum of areas of the first 10 circles. So if you have 10 circles and you calculate the areas of those 10 circles, so it's going to be the area of the first circle plus the area of the second circle plus the area of the third circle till the area of the 10th circle. So basically, you're going to have almost a sequence of A1, A2, A3, and A till A10. Okay. So to do this, you need to then realize that we are now dealing with sequences, right? And in sequences, you have these 4 formulas to use. Okay, so these formulas here on your information sheet, these formulas here, we're talking about an arithmetic. Okay, this is an arithmetic sequence, and this is your geometric sequence. Okay, and the difference between the two is really this D here and this R here. Okay, this D and this R, that's the difference. So D just means that a difference. So a difference, if you have a sequence 2 minus sequence 1, should be always be equal to a dead sequence or dead term minus the second term. Okay, or I'm saying A here because we're doing areas on our previous video. So for R will be second term over the first term should always be equal to a third term over a second term. So that's the difference. That's how you actually determine if a sequence is arithmetic and a sequence is geometric, right? So in this case, we need to do that first and then do our calculations, okay? So what do we know? We know that we have our first term, second term, third term. We can able to find these terms, right? So our first term, remember, the equation is A is equal to pi r squared. So in this case, it's pi r squared. What is r of first term? Is 6. So pi 6 squared, which is 6 squared pi, right? And the second term, what is second term? Is pi r squared. So r of the radius of the second term is 3, so it's 3 squared. Third term, pi r squared, which is 1.5, okay, squared. Okay, so what you have a first term as 6 squared pi, right? And you have a second term as let's call it 3 squared pi. Fourth term as 1.5 squared pi. This is until the 10th term. Okay, now from here we can able to find you can find if this is a arithmetic or geometric, right? Let's check if it's arithmetic, right? So check if it's arithmetic, you need to find, let's say geometric. Let's start with geometric. You can start arithmetic or geometric, it's up to you. You are checking if this is arithmetic or this is geometric, right? So let's check if this is a geometric. So what you're gonna say is you're gonna take a first term, a second term divided by first term. So in this case, you have 3 squared pi over 6 squared pi, okay? This is basically 3 over 6 squared, which is 3 over 6 is 1 over 2 squared, which is 1 over 4, okay? So let's also do that with r is equal to a over 3 over a over 2. Let's do that as well. What do you have? So you have 1.5. 1.5 is basically 3 over 2 squared divided by a2, which is 3 squared, right? So this could be written as 3 over 2 times 1 over 3. This is squared. This is squared. This is again 3 over 2 times 3 is 6 squared, which is basically the same as this. So your answer is 1.4, right? 1.4. So it is a geometric, right? Because these two are equal. So we're using a geometric, and our r is equal to 1.4. So we've discovered that r is equal to 1.4 and it is a geometric, and therefore what equation we're using? We're using these two equations. Now, again, what are we answering? We're answering the sum of the areas of the first 10. So what they're asking is, what is the sum of the first 10 areas? And we know the sum of the first 10 is just basically the sum of the first 10. We're adding all of these first 10 areas. Okay, so therefore what we're using is we're using this formula here, where Sn is equal to a r power n minus 1 and r minus 1. And r we know, and a is your first term. So a is your first term, and we know that our first term is what? This is our first term, pi 6 power 2. Okay, so the formula is a r power n minus 1 over r minus 1. And our a, let me just take this off. And our a is the first term, which is basically 6 squared pi. And r is 1 over 4. And n is 10, because we're looking at the sum of the first 10. And then r is 1 over 4 minus 1. And then you just punch this in your calculator, you get your answer. Let me know if you get your answer correctly. Let me know, just type down the answer of this question. This will help me to know that you are engaging with me and you understand where we're going with 3.2. because I can't wait to show you how to deal with 3.3. I want you to pause this video and do 3.3 yourself, and then we're gonna come back and do it together. If you have paused it, just tell me what is your n. Okay, what is your n? So while I'm rubbing this off, I want you to tell me what is your n. Okay, now let's read 3.3. Let's do it together. Which circle has a diameter of 3.128? I mean, what do we know? We know that a radius is now, okay, understand the question. Let's say which circle has a diameter. So which circle, which term has a diameter of 3 over 128? Okay, they want us to find n because they want to find which term, which circle is a circle 1, circle 2, circle 3, or circle 5, or circle 1000 that has a diameter of 3 over 128. I mean, we know that a radius is equal to half of a diameter, right? So a radius is equal to 1 over 2 times 3 over 128. Okay, we know that. And we know this is equal to 3. 128 times 2 is 256. So we know that we're looking at the radius of 256. Okay, and we know that the first term, the first area, has a radius of 6. Okay, and the second area have a radius of 3. And the third area or circle, basically, let's call it that, circle. Yeah, let's call it C's, just because we're not looking at area. So the first circle has area 6, a second circle has area 3, a third circle has area 1.5. We know that, and we know we're dealing with geometry, so we need to find R. And to find R, you just say second term divided by first term. So your R is 3 over 6. And 3 over 6 is divided by 3 on both sides is going to be 1 over 2. So your R is equal to 1 over 2. That's the first thing that you know. R is 1 over 2. Because the thing with geometry, you can also find this to just recheck what is 1.5 divided by 3. You should get 1 over 2. Okay, so you get that. We're looking at geometry. Therefore, what are we using? We're using this equation. Why are we using this equation? Because we're not doing a sum anymore. We're looking at this particular question because equation, right? So what do you have? You have, let's say Tn is equal to a Rn minus 1. And what is our first term in our sequencing, right? This is our sequencing. You have first term, which is 3, second term, and first term, which is 6, second term is 3, and third term, which is 1.5. So our first term is 6. So you have Tn is equal to, first term is 6, your R is half, and we're looking for n power 1. And we know a Tn, right? We know that at some point we have a radius of 3 over 256. So we know at some point we have a radius of 3 over 256. And we're looking for what is that radius. Is radius 1? I mean, what is that circle? Circle 1, circle 2, circle 3, circle 4. Okay, so now what we're doing is we're just solving for n. So what I'm going to do is, just to make it easy for us, I'm going to take this off. And I'm going to take this off as well. Okay, just remember this was 3 because of space, right? I'm trying to create space. So this is 3 over 256. So we're just solving for n. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to divide by 6 on both sides. You're going to have 3 over 6 times 256 is equal to 1 over 2 power n minus 1. And then half power n is equal to, let's take 1 to the left hand side, becomes positive 1 plus, you can actually punch this in your calculator yourself, right? Because 3 over 6 times 2 2 times 3 over 6 times 2, 5, 6. I'm gonna do it by head, but that is like 1 over 5, 12. Let me know if you get that in your calculator. And then you something wrong here. Oh my goodness. No. Did I copy the... Yes, I did. No. This is wrong. Yes, it is wrong. If Tn is equal to AR... Oh, wow. Let me know if you saw that. Oh, wow. This is wrong. This is not... This is n minus 1. Okay. Remember, Tn is equal to AR power n minus 1. Sorry about that. So this minus 1 over here. I was like, yo, there's definitely something wrong here. If you did see this mistake, just tell me I saw it. Just tell me I saw it. And thing is, I'm not gonna cut this part where I made a mistake, because that's what I want to teach you as well, as part of the mathematics, right? To able to see if there's something wrong. Like, you need to have an intuition to say, no, damn, there's something wrong here. The math is not making sense. Okay. So again, what you have is, this is essentially half n minus 1 is equal to, this is equal to 1 over 5, 12. Okay. And then from here, what you're going to use is, we're going to use what you call logarithms. So logs says that if you have, let me take this off just to bring you some notes about logs. So if you have a power x is equal to b, to solve for x will be x log of a is equal to log of b. Therefore, x is equal to log of b over log of a. This is how you solve for x if you have a situation like this. You just introduce log on both sides, and then x will be equal to log of a over log of b. That's your x. So to find n, basically what we're saying is, this n minus 1 will be equal to log of 512 over log of half. Okay. And then if you do your calculation, if you punch this in your calculator, n minus 1 is equal to something like 9. Okay. And then your n will be basically 9 plus 1, which is equal to 10. So your n is equal to 10. Whew, my goodness, this is just 10 marks. Very stingy, but it's a very nice question. Very nice, very tricky questions. Okay, so let me know if you don't get it. I will definitely understand. It's a very nuanced question. This is where they set between A plus students and A students. And if you are A plus student, and if you understand this question and you follow through, you definitely have the qualities of an A plus student. I'll see you in the next video. In the next video, we're doing question 2. So take your time, pause this video, take your screenshots, and go ahead and do question 2. I'll see you in the next video. Boom.